Good morning, everybody. I guess in a little while I'll develop the habit of being on time for these live. Usually I like to get them started around 9 o'clock, but I can never hit that 9 o'clock mark for some reason. I guess it's because I said 9. But at any rate, you see the title of the live, man. Let me start off first by commenting on some of the events that have happened over the past week. We were able to see a guilty verdict. I know a lot of people have been watching the case intently, George Floyd. And so in a situation like that, the evidence was overwhelming. Live video footage of what happened to the gentleman, and so the case, in my opinion, went through due process. But now, after the verdict was read, there was a lot of rejoicing. There was a lot of people that was happy. There was a lot of commotion. And I won't say that that's a negative thing. I'll say, okay, that's fine. But now, I don't want that to catch any of you off guard or to make you drop your guard, okay? Especially in our community. Don't drop your guard, because regardless of what the verdict was, regardless of what it turned out to be, there's still a need for us to exercise the utmost caution. Hey, my cuz, what's going on, cuz? We still need to exercise the utmost caution. And we need to be intentional about the things that we do. And what do I mean by that? I'm still advocating that fathers and mothers, if necessary, still have that conversation with their children, especially their boys, if they're African American, about the need to be careful when dealing with law enforcement. You know that talk. My father had it with me. We still need to do that. We still need to be advocating for our children to be aware of the danger that may be involved in situations like that. Yes, the verdict came back guilty, and that's good for his family. Matter of fact, I know right now that the family is probably relieved because in their opinion, justice has been served. Many people have said that, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is, one guilty verdict is not going to prevent this from happening in the future. It's not. And so if you have children, what I'm saying, what I'm advocating, what I'm strongly suggesting is that you prepare your children, because there are still individuals out there, and I know this is going to sound a little harsh coming from me because I'm usually even toned, but there are still individuals out there who judge based upon the color of the skin. What's going on, David? And so if that's something that's the reality of the situation, if people are still judging based upon that particular factor, it's always necessary. If your children, if they possess that particular factor of having a different skin tone, you need to prepare them for their encounters with law enforcement. Because, as we mentioned, things are still going on. What's up, Steve? Things are still happening. Even while the trial was going on, there were individuals that were still losing their lives as a result of their interactions with law enforcement. Listen, I'm gonna be the first to tell you, I'm not a proponent of defunding the police. That's not my take on the situation. I'm not political like that. But what I will say is that the lack of training, it would appear, in some situations, because now you look at it, you had the situation with the lady that ended up taking the life of a young man, and she said that she got her taser and her weapon mixed up. Her taser and her gun mixed up. Now I don't know, I could be wrong, but now if you are a trained professional, and this is the way that you live, this is the way you make your living, your livelihood, wouldn't you make sure of which weapon was where? I can understand being caught up in the moment, but you're a trained professional, and that training takes into consideration being under duress. It takes into consideration that you're going to have to use that training in a situation that is highly tense, high charged, emotionally involved. So I'm still saying, you all, please, you won't hear me be negative about the police or anything of that sort, because there are good individuals in every group, and there are some good police officers. But what I'm saying is, regardless of what the police officer turns out to be, regardless, we should be about training our children to handle those encounters, so that when the encounter is over, they'll be able to live to tell about it. Okay? Because the scene in this country right now is racially charged. There's some individuals that feel like more should be done. There's some individuals that want to ride, they want to do certain things, and I don't have a view on that. I don't have a view on that. I can understand the frustration, but as always, my thoughts, my intentions are to prepare you. Okay? Individually, we all need to be prepared. So that when something happens, we know that we did the best that we could do to prepare ourselves and our children. Because listen, I'm not one of those ones that's going to cop out and say, okay, there's no difference between our experience in the United States and any other ethnicity. I'm not going to cop out. That's not me. If you notice my skin tone, I am the darkest in my family. In my immediate family, I am the darkest. So when I talk about difficulties with ethnicity, understand that I have gone my whole life with this skin tone. I know the difficulties. I've had encounters with police that were anything but positive. So I'm not speaking from a hypothetical standpoint. I'm speaking from what I've experienced. Patrice, how you doing? I want you all to be prepared, man. I want everybody to be prepared if necessary. That verdict turned out the way it did because of the overwhelming evidence. Who is to say that the next time something happens that evidence will be present? So as the title of the live mentioned, man, nothing has changed. Nothing. We don't need to believe that, because it's not the truth. Nothing has changed. I'm on the way to Tupelo right now, and it's a possibility. I know that this is very pessimistic for me to say, but it's a possibility that I won't make it back. It's a possibility. You never know what the future holds. As I always say, you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And so, that would be what I would advocate for this morning. Y'all just be careful out there, man. Do the best that you can to hold on to family members. Cherish the ones that you have, man. And do your best to prepare them so that they can continue to, live and have a productive life. As always, I got love for you. I hope everything goes well during the week. And I hope my discussion this morning wasn't too heavy. We always do that. But we have to be honest, and we have to be truthful, and we have to look at things as they are and not as we would want them to be, y'all. All right. Y'all have a good morning. Peace.